22 of season 2 of Tosh News, where obviously this week we'll have plenty of news articles to get through, and as you can see, there's a lot. I'm a member, all the money goes to me because I run the damn thing. Discords and that down below, like the video, subscribe, etc, etc. Tonight we have the usual co-host, Cero. Hello, sir.
Hey, how's it going?
We have Enigmatic, the first
Hello.
Scotsman. Then we have Tory Boy, the second Scotsman.
Hello.
Hello. So yes, I just what do you always call it? Master debating throughout the episode. I'm masturbating to these college girls. It was a good episode, and obviously Charlie liked it. But unfortunately, yes. Start off with international news. It's the tragic assassination of Charlie Kirk, which a lot of people have said, like, because I didn't really follow Charlie Kirk all that closely, but now he's gone, I still feel like I miss him, even though I really didn't pay much attention to him whatsoever. And obviously, we have the Turning Point UK branch, which seems to have all but died. I don't know what they do. So, but obviously, it was big in America, and he was quite close to the Trump administration. Hence, he's basically had a state funeral over there, which he thoroughly deserves for his work with, well, for putting forward Republican, well, thought really to college students. I mean, I take it everyone else will pretty much the same. It's a sad loss. I take it no one's going to celebrate it. Obviously.
I'm going to be real with you guys. I had no idea who he was until he was killed.
Really? That's surprising. Because he's kind of a young Ben Shapiro.
He looks like one, yeah. Young Ben Shapiro.
And to be honest, and on top of that, he's more your generation, because you're slightly younger than us, Enigmatic.
Yeah, yeah.
So he should really be more your generation. So, kind of shocked.
I think that there's
at
also,
that.
but Turning Point itself is a bit more boomer coded. Just I know that there was the Turning Point younger people, but I think when people think Turning Point, it's usually a bit of an older thing. I don't know. Are we also just mentioning whether we sort of actually knew him? Sorry, I had to step away for a second.
Well, I said I didn't really follow him closely. I knew of him, but now he's gone. I kind of miss him anyway. He did come up every now and then on my TikTok, but
so that's the thing. I found that I didn't watch him myself, but if you were to track all of my concentric circles, like the Venn diagram had him on the periphery on nearly all of them. So you would always find someone in one of your circles talking about Charlie Kirk, but you wouldn't necessarily watch the videos yourself. You would sort of hear, oh, he spoke at XYZ place, or, Turning Point were doing this and Charlie Kirk was doing this.
Well,
because I didn't watch Turning Point either, I sort of knew of them.
Yeah, he was on our radar. He was on our radar a little bit a few months ago because he obviously went to the Oxford Union to do that debate, and then obviously one of the guys there has been thoroughly rinsed for celebrating his death in a WhatsApp group, which I think it's finally getting to the boomers that Gen Z are like half of them are psychopaths. Because God, I've been listening to a lot of like podcasts and like Times Radio and Spectator and things like that. And there's Freddie Gray, who I think's the US correspondent for the Spectator. He was just having chats with people about this Charlie Kirk assassination, and he's like, what's the feeling like over there? And it's like, half are obviously really sad, the other half are almost celebrating. And he's like, half? It's like, yeah. It's like, yeah. People are realising that Gen Z are, like, half of them are radicalised communists, and the other half are just normal people. And that's a bit of a disaster.
Well, a while ago, all of this was relegated to the dregs of Tumblr, and then kind of migrated over to Reddit. But now it's kind of bled over into the normie sphere.
Well, all Tumblr was a direct line from academic feminism and critical theory, race theory, feminist theory, whatever, straight to Tumblr. That's why they were all mad. And then, it, as you say, bled over to Reddit. Which, to be honest, which is why I'm not too, like, this seems a very, very America problem. We don't seem to be in the same boat as them in that I don't think half of British Gen Z are psychopaths. I think a lot of them would vote left-wing, but I think most of our Generation Z would not ever like to see political violence, whereas in America, I think it's like half of Gen Z, less than that, about 42% or something, but it's still an awful lot.
Yeah, I mean, I encountered people who would have celebrated his death in university. I mean, they're there, but it's nowhere near as high as the US.
Yeah, well, you have to kind of expect that. I kind of wonder what all my American studies friends did. I might actually ask them, actually. It's been a while. But yes, either way, it's very sad. And I keep having to tell people, yeah, he was obviously right-wing for an American, but he is basically the same as you and me. That's how people that would murder Charlie Kirk see you and me. America are quite right to finally try and deal with the leftist problem, and it looks like the Trump administration are going to go overboard on that, which, given how patient the right has been, it takes one of their, maybe not in the inner circle, but certainly in circles of Trump and all that. Even after Trump got shot, I'm surprised they didn't do much on it, really. But yeah, they are hopefully going to crack down on a lot of this and finally go a bit McCarthyite, or at least more so than they have done in the past.
I don't know what his what his opinions were, but from the sounds of it, he was probably more moderate than I am. Like Charlie Kirk.
I think he was one of the biggest moderates.
Yeah, he was incredibly moderate from what I heard. You know, and I guess to be fair, your average person in the UK doesn't have to work hard to be more moderate than I. But
well,
American.
He's to the right of Danny Kruger. I'll put it that way. But so are most of the American right. Yeah, he's very much normie core right wing American. That's what Charlie Kirk was, and they shot him for it. Who's they? Frankly, leftists, and everyone's celebrating it. Do you include Destiny in that? Destiny's just a bit of a schizo. I don't know. Hassan Piker, despite his reaction to this, was part of the problem, and frankly, I hope they arrest him and put him in jail because he has got away with a ridiculous amount of glorifying terrorism. Which
do you reckon that if oh sorry, Karen.
I was just going to say that that's not covered by free speech. Like, you cannot celebrate political terrorism. That's my opinion.
If Hassan got put in jail, what do you think would actually happen to Twitch? Do you think it would fold, or do you think it would get better?
Well, the funny thing is that you go up the corporate ladder. It's Jeff Bezos at the top. So because obviously Twitch is owned by Amazon. I hope it gets shut down because it's not just the whole they let terrorist sympathisers on be their biggest person on there. I suppose Amengold's actually bigger now and he doesn't celebrate terrorism. But obviously Hassan was for quite a while. The CEO's basically a creepy leftist as well.
Yeah,
what's he
I
called?
can't remember what his name is.
Dan No, not Dan Crenshaw. He's the guy with the one eye. I can't. It's Dan something though.
Yeah.
But Dan
Schneider?
I can't remember, but he should get sacked anyway because he's overseen.
Oh, Dan Clancy.
Yeah, he's overseen Twitch effectively just lose money for year on year, but it's good propaganda for the leftists, isn't it? So that's why Vorsh has been allowed to stay on. Destiny got banned years ago, didn't he? And Hassan Piker. So hopefully they go after Twitch as well, because again they've also broken a hell of a lot of copyright laws, but nobody seems to care, which is nuts to me. But whatever. Anyway, I think that'll do for Charlie Kirk. I can't remember if there's been any other international news. Poland, yeah, Article 4. I didn't look too much into it, but I heard that's quite big. Tory Boy, do you know anything about
that? It went away very quickly, didn't it?
Yes.
Everyone expected World War III to happen, and then nothing happened.
Once again,
nothing ever happens.
Nothing ever happens. There you go.
They had a scare previously where I think there was a rocket that was like either shot down or misfired, and
it went into the
Ukrainians blamed. Yeah, they blamed it on the Russians, but it turned out that I think it was a misfired Ukrainian missile, so that one got buried. I didn't actually hear much about this one, but it did get buried very quickly.
Well, these were drones.
Drones, was it? Yeah.
You know, they looked as if they were manned. So they're going in a particular direction for a particular reason. And
Mm.
if you find them in Polish airspace, that's not a good thing to happen. Of course,
Yeah.
Article 4 is just to call a meeting for them to discuss.
Right. Okay.
Yeah,
to do
Article
next.
5 is the collective defense.
That's the big one, isn't it? Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
There you go. Anyway, we've got Muzzkie who's joined us. Hello.
Hello.
We just did a whole 10 minutes on Charlie Kirk. I imagine you'll have similar things to say.
Yeah, I listened to it in the car.
Nice.
Two things I disagree on. You're saying that there's not any people in the Curtis group chat.
I didn't.
From uni had that stuff in.
I did not say any. I said
Of
much
them
less.
dancing around on it. Yeah.
Yeah, I said much less.
One of them's American, to be fair.
Yeah.
And the other thing, if Hassan got banned from Twitch, I think his audience would just fracture and then go to all his minions. So.
All the orbiters.
Yeah.
Sorry. Yeah, I'd expect the orbiters to get nuked too. I'd expect Twitch the platform to just go. Like, if they get Hassan, they're going to have to go after the platform as a whole because Hassan's just the figurehead. There's hundreds really of leftists who have said heinous stuff as well. EFAP's covered it. So
Yeah.
yeah, I hope they go after the whole thing basically. That'd make me very happy. Yeah.
I will cross Twitch off my might stream on in the future. Then I will.
Well,
To be fair,
Tory.
what was it? Yeah, go for it.
I was just going to say, Tori, you'll probably know better than me. Isn't Article 5, it's basically that you've got to render aid in some way. You don't actually need to declare war, part of NATO, isn't it?
Technically, yes. I mean, it's all legalistic, but yeah, I mean, if somebody makes a notification for Article 5, all the other NATO countries do have a duty to come to their aid. What that actually means in practice is difficult to know, but
You say that, but they can just ignore it as well.
Well,
I mean,
that's international
all of-
politics for you, right?
Yeah, but all of them apart from New Zealand did during the Falklands, and maybe Australia. Oh, no, New Zealand and Australia aren't even signatories, are they? So yeah, everyone did. America didn't come to our aid. No one else in NATO did. So you can.
America
if you want,
has
just
this
ignore it
weird
as well.
policy of trying to appease the Argentinians, which I'm never quite sure why they did that.
Because they just put them in power.
Maybe.
Well, there's a reason for that because apparently it doesn't count if it's below the Tropic of Cancer.
there you go. Didn't know that.
Specifically North Atlantic.
Yeah. Alright. Well, there you go. Is there any other international news apart from Poland nearly going to World War III and obviously Charlie Kirk? Probably. We're not doing Trump's coming here because that's got a whole article on that we're finishing off on as a palate cleanser. Anyway.
Congo's kicking off again, isn't it?
The Congo?
I think so, yeah.
Oh, we only do Western and Asian news.
Okay.
What's happening in the Congo?
When does it not kick off?
What's going on in the Congo? Go on.
The same. I think it's the same thing that Rwanda's just sponsoring more groups going in, and it's just heating up more and more. It's an acronym. I can never remember the name of the group. That's basically the Rwandan side, but I think they're kicking off again.
There you go. There you go. The Congo's kicking off. Anyway, speaking of kicking off, I don't know if this is a good segue actually. It's not. Migrants' deportation fail for second day over legal challenges. So the 1 in 1 out, which was already a really stupid idea, is failing yet again because of the ECHR and human rights lawyers. The Home Office has failed to deport migrants to France for a second day in a row as outstanding human rights claims delayed their removal. They, I think there's a really funny picture of a Sun journalist next to some empty seats on the plane, and it's just like they're deporting more journalists than actual criminals on this jet. Which, to be fair, Starmer, deport more journalists. That's what I say. Lawyers acting on behalf of several migrants due to be among the first to be removed under the 1 in 1 out return deal revealed that removal had been delayed after submitting last-minute legal challenges, and I think one was like, if I go to France I'll be destitute, and that worked. And at this point, how is it not just, there's a whole open border to everyone if you just say you're an asylum seeker? If you can't even deport them to France, which is a safe country, and they get looked after there, they're not going to get tortured, you still can't send them there? I'd say Britain needs reform. What do you think, Tory boy?
I mean, obviously, no. I said this to a friend of mine in a text message. Like, this failed as soon as the sentence "we made a deal with France" came out. You just knew it was a failure because there's no such thing as making a good deal with France. France will just take advantage of us at every possible opportunity, and because they just can get away with these things when we can't.
Well, I heard it again. This is from the Telegraph, I think. The podcast. If you're going to listen to anything, don't listen to old media. Just listen to the Telegraph, Spectator, and Times Radio. That's my suggestion. Anyway, and my channel, of course.
Unironically, between what was it? My news, basically I get news from my Harrian's channel, and like Asmongold's channel, and so far I haven't missed out anything particularly like major.
Well, I'm not. This is more for the analysis, and you'll basically hear things that's like insider information at Westminster. You won't necessarily get all that from my channel. You get a bit of it.
Yeah, but the Times presenters are incredibly wet.
They are incredibly wet, but how are you not used to that?
I don't know. I was surprised at the Telegraph presenters. I think they're quite good, and the Spectator's been right for years.
Yeah, Spectator's good. Telegraph's pretty good. Times are very wet.
I still don't trust any mainstream media at the moment. I'm still very much in that lane. But
well, yeah. I would say that's a mistake. Still, what was I gonna say? I can't remember now. It was something about the Telegraph, and now I can't remember what my point was.
Sorry, go for it.
A flight leaving Heathrow for Charles de Gaulle Airport in Paris was due to have a small number of migrants on board, accompanied by escorts from the private contractor MIT Care and Custody, or MITI. Mighty. Oh, there you go. On board the flight, a Times reporter saw empty seats thought to have been reserved for deportations, and the Home Office later confirmed that there would not be any deportations on Tuesday. How humiliating is that? You got this whole smash the gangs thing. You've got this will be a great deal. This will sort the problem, and they can't even deport anyone. Honestly, reform will be on 40% by the end of the month at this rate. Especially with the Epping Hotel thing on top of it, where they have to keep the migrants in the hotel because of the Supreme Court overturning the High Court. Oh, it's crazy. It's like,
not to big up the Tories, but
go on.
Whenever they failed to deport people to Rwanda, at least there was a massive blowout about it days before, and there was huge things going on. Whereas this is just sort of the folded, literally just on the day. All right, fine then.
Yeah. No, I'm this is, it's a reform activist channel, but give Tories credit where it's due. It's just they don't deserve much credit for an awful lot of things, but they do deserve credit for trying, I suppose. But they didn't do what was necessary, and now they're going to die.
They can get a little sticker.
Yeah, they get a gold star. Well done. Well done, Robert Jemrick. Here's your gold star.
Obviously, all of this is just, bread and circuses anyway. Who cares whether 5 people are being sent to France?
That's what makes it more humiliating. This was the bare minimum. This was the bare minimum, and they can't even do that. That's what makes it humiliating. Everyone was complaining for ages that the 1 in 1 out thing doesn't even make sense, because everyone's problem is that there's too many people here, and they don't want more refugees, even if they're legitimate. We've already had them from Afghanistan, Ukraine, and Hong Kong. They're like the 3 people aren't too bad with. Everywhere else, it's like, no, go away. And it's like we've got someone from Eritrea who's staying because he'll be destitute in France. It was already humiliating that they already said that it was going to be like 50 a month. Or was it 50 a week? Who cares? Either way, it's nowhere near what it needs to be. And then you got Reform saying it'll be 600,000, which no other party has even estimated beyond tens of thousands to be deported, from what I can gather. So, yeah, if anything, Tory boy, that's just another humiliation for Labour. We've got a week.
And the way that it does matter is that if you fail at the easiest first step on your proof of concept program, then you're obviously not going to get any of it done.
This was literally the pilot scheme, and it's a flop. We've had 2 days of this. It has booked a smaller number of seats in Air France passenger flights from Heathrow to Paris each day for this week for migrant deportations and is still hoping to remove the first migrants by the end of the week. Which, again, is probably about 5. There's a letter about it.
I hope Lord Hermer represents them in court.
It'll be his first time trying to actually deport someone.
Oh, I meant on the migrant side.
Oh, that'd be even funnier. Well, I thought he was working with the government, Lord Hermer.
Yeah, yes.
Yeah, I thought he was. That would be funny. Oh god, this is long. Oh yeah, and Shabam Mahmood, obviously there's the big reshuffle, which I don't actually have an article on because there's so much this week. Who cares about a lame reshuffle? But yeah, Shabam Mahmood's the new Home Secretary. Everyone said, oh yeah, she'll be no nonsense, she'll get it done. I don't know why. She's been very much on the side of illegal migrants before this. And yeah, this is her first kind of achievement in office, not managing to deport people. Which, to be fair, what could she do?
I've never actually got a good look at her before. Got a good look at her before. She looks like an Arab Edna Mode.
Yeah, she does look a bit like Edna Mode. I see what you mean.
Yeah, I thoroughly regret it. I think that my imagined version in my mind's eye was better.
Well, anyway, yeah, it's a disaster yet again. More people arrived on boats. 5,590 arrived on small boats since the deal came into effect. Everyone knew this would be a disaster. I just don't get what's Labour's plan. I keep seeing them just flailing around. I take it it's just they don't have a plan and are hoping for the best.
It said at the bottom there that they're going to play around the ECHR or do something around the edges of what judges can do to enforce it.
Home Secretary is drawing up proposals to change domestic legislation that will limit the power for judges to accept appeals against deportations or reject asylum claims based on Article 8, which protects the right to a family. With the Atrean man, nothing to do with the right to a family, so it won't do anything. The thing with all these deportation, stoppages by human rights lawyers, when you get the stupid chicken nugget story, the chicken nugget thing was actually rejected by the judges. No one talks about that. I think it was just the basic stuff of he deserves to be with his son, and his son isn't being deported, so he has to stay here. That was a family-based one, but they scattershot. They do about 10 different reasons as why they should stay and hope one of them sticks. That's typically how this works. So just getting Article 8 doesn't make sense. It's why you've got to leave the whole thing along with the Human Rights Act and a load of other conventions. Because they use them all. If one of them stops working, they stop bothering with it, and they just use the others that do stick. It's not going to work. You can't just tinker around the edges, but... Well, Labour.
That and because the ECHR is a particularly European-based conception of rights compared to the English conception of right, which we're used to.
Yeah, but in Europe it's treated in a very European way, where the French and the Germans just ignore it. It's inconvenient.
Whereas we're very by the book, which is good. Anyway, MPs hold an emergency debate over Mandelson. Yeah, there were some spicy things said in this particular exchange. Effectively, for those who don't know the story of Peter Mandelson, he is a scandal machine, I think it's fair to say. Tory Buttle, I imagine you'll remember his scandals much better than the rest of us.
Well, this will be the 3rd time he's resigned from government.
Yeah, but the 4th time he's had a scandal in government.
It's not just that, though. Even back in the day, didn't everyone just think he was just a weird freak, just from him speaking in public, and everyone just thought he was just a really weird guy?
Well, Peter Mandelson's nickname is the Prince of Darkness.
Yeah, which was always a funny one.
I thought he was called Mandy most of the time.
He's called Mandy as well, but there's a lot of stories of him just he'll be at a do or something and he'll get a phone call, have to excuse himself, and people overhear him saying something like, "Destroy this story," or "This must be suppressed." Yeah. And yeah, obviously the links to Epstein is what's got him this time.
Before everyone thought that was about the Blair government he was trying to suppress. Actually, it was Epstein he was trying to keep undercover.
Well, he was very, very close to Epstein. Like, there were weird emails, like emails that are even too close to a bro for me. Like, I didn't really want to say it in my video, but it almost looked like a gay relationship type emails. But
has anyone said how they met?
I don't know, actually. I didn't Tory Boy, you're most likely to know, but
I have no idea.
Yeah.
Because back in the Blairs, he wouldn't even have a connection with America particularly any more than anyone else, would he?
No, but I suppose he was invited to a lot of things and did have a lot of contacts. Bear in mind, Epstein wasn't just like a paedophile provider. He was also a money launderer. Yeah, he's big in the Dems, but also he's a money launderer.
After Peter Mandelson was had resigned the first time, he was sent to become the British representative to the EU. He became a European commissioner.
Yeah, he did. Yeah.
And so he had a lot of international contacts at that point. That was like 2003, 2004, wasn't it? So that was around the time when Epstein was very, very famous, and
then he got sucked over an EU pension or something, didn't he? Can't remember.
I still remember what happened. But he gets a pension from the EU because of the job he had.
Yeah. But then it was like a conflict of interest when I can't remember what he was doing. Basically, the man's a scandal machine, and Starmer still put him in. And what's made this one why this could possibly destroy Starmer, and I think it will. In fact, I'll call it here, is because of the Epstein link and all the emails. The emails were already pretty much public, and as I say, every podcast I've listened to from the mainstream, they're all like, "We already knew all this," but Starmer's claiming he didn't know about how close he was, all the little kisses at the end of emails, all the defence that he was offering and things like that. It's like, yeah, I didn't know any of that. And it's like, but that was public a week ago. On top of that, insiders at Number 10 have effectively said, he was... they bypassed the security vetting on Mandelson. Like, he bypassed security vetting. He basically fast-tracked it to get him in because Starmer and... Well, they think Morgan McSweeney wanted him in.
Didn't MI5 suggest that he would have been a security risk?
Yeah, I think it was that, and Starmer went ahead with it anyway.
We'll appoint him anyway.
Yeah, and all this has come out. I don't know what Labour's plan is. I don't know why they thought they could get away with all this, especially after they spent...
And Starmer done that multiple times then, with Lord Ali as well, getting a security pass that no one can explain why he had it.
Yeah. Oh, like, talk about Tory sleaze. Again, not to big up the Tories. I don't think they did anything this bad.
I don't know. I don't think Jeremy Hunt should have been allowed on the cabinet.
What, because of his wife?
Well, yeah.
Well, maybe, but as far as I'm aware, he was actually vetted.
I'm pretty sure I disclosed everything.
Yeah, which is better than this.
True.
So yeah, I just basically from what I went through it in today's video. Basically, the only thing keeping Starmer in is that Labour have literally no one else who can be Prime Minister. Maybe Wes Streeting.
Wes Streeting.
Yeah, but even Wes Streeting's like he's not really popular.
It's going to be Wes Streeting.
It probably will
accept that it will be Wes Streeting.
No, it probably will be, but I don't think Labour really want to risk Wes Streeting because I think they think he'll be worse, especially because he's blue Labour through and through, and this is a blue Labour government and it's completely failed.
If Burnham was an MP and they didn't need to try and risk a by-election to get him in, I think he would knock Starmer out easily. He'd
steam it, yeah. Well, he'd probably already be leader, to be honest. Yeah, I mean...
Did you see which seat they're talking about Burnham getting?
Which one again? I know it's the safest one in Manchester.
No, it wasn't. No, well, there was two, because there was the talk about Manchester Central, which would be the safest one.
Yeah.
But actually, it was Graham Stringer's seat, which is Middleton South. I can't remember the first part, but it's something I middle. But do you remember the Haywood and Middleton by-election?
When?
2014.
Is it Blackley and Middleton South?
Yeah. But
wait, 2007?
It was like 2014.
2014. I mean, I've just checked the Middleton South wiki. I think it was created in 2019, so was it something else before that?
Yeah, it was Haywood and Middleton.
Right, okay. Anyway, what happened there?
Anyway, the point I'm making is that was the prime UKIP territory, which is now prime Reform territory. There's no way even Andy Burnham would win a by-election there.
He's very, very popular in Manchester, so...
They only won it by, 500, 600 votes? Yeah, in 2014.
Different boundaries, but still.
Yeah, no, Andy Burnham is the most popular man in Manchester, even I was shocked. I mean, I went on a stag do in Bath, and obviously the stag and his best man were there quite early, but they happened to see Andy Burnham like just outside the train station because he was on the way to Glastonbury, I think. And they got a picture with him, and everyone, like the whole group, was saying how much they liked him. And I was like, well, obviously I was the only one that was like, I don't like him, but I can't actually put my finger on why. And it's basically just because he's Labour. But I couldn't give you details of why he's bad or anything.
But remember,
like that.
That happens to every mayor because mayors don't raise taxes; they just spend money. So Boris Johnson, when he was mayor of London, was very, very popular in London, even though he was a Tory.
Yeah.
And Andy Street was very, very popular in Birmingham, even though he was a Tory. Then he lost the mayoralty.
Yeah. Well, Andy Burnham's got an advantage in that, one, he's left Labour, two, he's in a very Labour-leaning city of Manchester. So
is that why they're so hard to unseat? Like, Khan just can't be unseated in London, partially just because there's not really a downside to being the mayor, because you're not really a part of all the bad sides of government. You're just seen as so doing these projects.
Partially, I think the other thing with the other thing with London is that obviously it's the demographic thing.
Well, yeah.
Yeah. So, but I think that's actually less of an issue now because I think the white British population is actually rising again in London. Seems to be a reverse white flight going on.
Yeah, but they're all in their 20s, so.
Yeah. Anyway, so yeah, there was a big debate, which largely it's a pointless debate. It's usually just done to effectively what these debates are called for, and it was called by David Davis, is to goad opposition to Starmer within Labour to stand up in the House and have a go at him. That's effectively what they try and do, but it doesn't. These debates never do anything. I think Labour did loads of them when the Tories were in charge, and nothing ever changed from it. So basically it's just a reason for people to get up and have speeches about why Starmer's terrible, and some of them were very funny. Ken Baynock has attacked Starmer for sending a junior minister to take his place at the emergency Commons debate on this scandal. Yeah, Starmer wasn't even there, by the way.
From the clips, it looked like most of the Labour Party went there, were they? I think they must have whipped it to be like, all right, just don't turn up. So
they didn't. Yeah, they didn't
take
bother.
any damage.
Yeah. Saying he was hiding from Parliament. Baynock said the Prime Minister had to come clean about what he knew about Mandelson's link to Epstein and and when he knew it. The Prime Minister has shown no courage, judgment, or backbone. This is the government of sleaze and scandal, and Labour MPs know it. I mean, I just don't see how Starmer survives. I don't see it because it's not just this. You've also got the Angela Rayner.
The Labour Party have less of a ruthless streak about getting rid of leaders. They're not as good at it.
No, well, it's quite difficult because you need. Well, how many MPs is it? I can't even remember.
20% of the sitting MPs.
Yeah, but it's not like the Tories where they just send in an anonymous letter. Like, you need 20% of them to already have nominated another leader. So they
basically are staking, I will never get a cabinet position if this fails.
Pretty much, yeah. It's what's so funny. It's why I made that video of technically Reform's more democratic than Tories and Labour, because the members can actually shove the leader out of Reform if half of them petition for it. I imagine they'll change that once they get a lot more MPs. Anyway, Rayner faces a $56,500 bill over her flat. Can she afford it? So obviously, this is the Angela Rayner story of she owed $40,000 in stamp duty, and then on top of that, well, what was it? She said she got tax advice. It turns out she never actually got tax advice. She was told by 3 different lawyers to get tax advice, never got it, avoided the stamp duty. Which again, I don't really care. I don't think she should have been sacked for this. But obviously the Tories are out for blood, because what else can they say they've done this Parliament? Nothing. So yeah, which is usual for opposition, to be fair. But getting a big scalp like her, it's good, it's fine. But this Starmer government's just on its last legs. I mean, does anyone else have an alternative? Does anyone else see them surviving?
It's a matter of time.
I don't. I think it massively depends what happens at the conference, to be honest. I think the conference is actually going to be very important. Weirdly, they all are going to be this year.
I don't think the Tory one will be, to be honest with you. I think that.
Well, it's the conference on does Kemi stay or not, isn't it?
Yes, but who cares?
Yes.
Well,
Oh,
Fair
come
enough with that.
on.
I'm not. No, I'm not. I'm not being funny. It's so funny. Tim Stanley of the Telegraph said he put on Twitter, "I take it that's Danny Kruger's dinner at the conference over then," and he actually asked him at the defection press conference. Danny Kruger said, "Yeah, I won't be hosting that anymore. It's some other no-name MP." And Tim Stanley said on the Telegraph podcast, "Oh well, I just won't bother going to that then." And I think that's what's going to happen with a lot of. I think you're going to see more defections to reform in the lead up to the conference, and I think it's just going to be chaos. And why get rid of campaign?
Yusuf's already got many applications to defect.
Yeah. Oh yeah, his phone would be buzzing. It's just, I wouldn't be shocked if Tory Boy's already stopped his standing order to the Tory party at this point.
No, not yet.
Not yet is the.
Although I
main
did
point,
actually cancel my membership in the raffle scheme.
Oh my goodness!
That's a big step.
What a vote with your feet.
Yeah, that's
Have
a
you
big
ever won
step.
anything from it?
No, of course not.
No, it's just
the
a way to
prizes?
get donations.
Yes.
No, I'm interested.
Yeah.
What are the prizes?
They give away £1,000 a week.
Oh well, so it's just a lottery. That's boring.
Yeah, it's a lottery. Yeah.
Well,
In fact, it's a long story. If you really want a really boring story, the National Conservative Draw Society is a very long-standing institution, and this national draw they started doing was quite controversial because they used to do 2 draws a year, and the local associations would sell tickets to them on behalf of the NCDS. And so now that it's all kind of centralized, the money just goes to central office.
Great. Incredible. Anyway, having said all that, it is quite funny to see Angela Rayner not be able to afford this house after scandaling it out of basically scandaling her way out of being able to afford it. Like, there is a hint of irony there of she's indulged herself. Because on top of that, she used her son. Her son doesn't live with her, a disabled son. He lives with the dad, but she got a bit of a payout from it with the trust, and she used that money to help go toward the deposit of this flat. Which it just feels like if you're getting compensation from the NHS, I don't think you should be spending it on, well, lavish stuff like this. But
isn't it
there we
weirder
go.
and more roundabout than that? That they took money out and then put the house in to a trust to say, okay, this is equivalent value, but the house was massively overvalued.
Yeah, it was double
So
the value
they
of the houses on the rest of the road.
Yeah. So they even did odd things around that to then try and essentially get money out of the trust as much as possible.
Yeah. Oh yeah, no, it's totally, completely. It's sleazy as anything.
But my question is, you're the deputy prime minister.
Mm-hmm.
Why? Why do you do this? Why would you not Why would you not know this is going to come back to haunt you?
Because they think they can get away with it. Honestly, like the stuff that gets public is probably about 1% of the sleazy stuff that goes on in Parliament. Let's be real.
I know, but it just seems it's just like if I was a member of Parliament, even a backbench MP, I'd be like, okay, I need to make sure my tax affairs are not crazy. This is like a really complex scheme to effectively launder money. Well, okay, that's actually probably illegal for me to say.
Allegedly.
Allegedly, yeah. So like, I don't understand how you think. Like, and also, if she got bad tax advice, that's one thing. But not taking advice in order to then not think you're breaking the law, that's insane.
Well, that's the worst part about it, in my opinion. It's like you actually went to 3 different lawyers. One of them, the only one that's come out publicly, has said we told her to get direct tax advice, and then she never did. And then she claims she did get tax advice. It's like there's one thing confusing all that. There's another thing to directly be told to get tax advice and then not taking it. You just lied to everyone there. You know, that's like when Rupert Lowe had the KC correcting him. Really, like you've had lawyers come out to correct you.
But then the bit that nobody's talking about, and maybe it's just me, right? She's an MP in Ashton, in Manchester,
and she's got a house
Why is she buying a flat in Hove?
I mean,
everyone said this at the time.
Yeah, people were talking about this. To be fair, I think I reckon she was trying.
I didn't see anybody. I didn't see anybody actually care about the fact that she's moving 500 miles away from her constituencies.
Tim, what's his name on the Telegraph, was saying it over and over.
Yeah, no, quite a few people were, to be fair. But I think it seemed pretty obvious to me that she was trying to get out of Ashton, which is almost certainly going to vote Reform now, and go to Hove, which is a lot safer. Wait. You know, I'm very cynical about this for obvious reasons, and now she probably can't afford to stay there, so she's kind of screwed. So,
I'm almost surprised that the parties don't have tax lawyers and accountants like paid up just for them going, okay, go over all of our MPs' affairs. Like everyone probably go to them and they'll go through everything.
That would be astronomically expensive. I just don't think they can afford that.
How often are MPs going to buy a house?
All the time.
We have to remember that the party doesn't want to help the MPs. They want to have as little knowledge about what the MPs are up to as possible.
That's also true. That's also true.
Okay, wait.
That's a good point.
A different suggestion then: cabinet, not backbenchers, just to avoid scandal, or have it as part of the vetting process and things like that. You'd think they'd try and avoid this, but they just don't seem to at all.
Again, I think the party would have to pay for it, and I don't think they want to pay millions for. Even if it's because how many people are in there? Like, it's like how many people are in cabinet? It's like 100. It's crazy.
Well, there's I think 24 cabinet members, and there's 110 ministers.
Yeah, exactly. Like you need like at least 10 KCs for that, plus the tax advice. Yeah, it just costs too much. But yeah, lovely flat anyway. She can't afford it. Slash number of green Quangos, Rachel Reeves tells ministers. Once again, there's not really much to say beyond, wow, this sounds good. You're not going to do it, though.
Stories keep coming out, though. She's definitely butting heads with Miliband behind the scenes.
Oh, yeah. Oh, that
massively, she has to be.
Yeah, if we're doing reshuffle talk, that's pretty much the only part that matters. Stormer wanted to move Ed Miliband because Ed Miliband is going to kill the country, and Ed Miliband basically said no, and so is still the energy security and net zero minister, which is that is suicide for the country. I don't know what it is about Red Ed, but he is crazy. It's probably because he met Greta Thunberg and was like, I will be your disciple, Greta, and now we're in this situation. But
I will be your sugar daddy.
Yeah.
Him and Michael Gove.
Oh God, I forgot about Michael. Yeah, Michael Gove was there. Even though he's quite good on The Spectator, but he's very much got a politician and normal person mode, and I think he's too used to being in politician mode these days. But yeah. So there's been demand for a fresh attempt to make a significant reduction in 438 Quangos operating in Whitehall, which reported to have cost the taxpayer £376 billion a year. Yep, that's a good idea. Among the key targets is understood to be the Department of Environment, Food and Rural Affairs, so DEFRA. I mean, Jeremy Clarkson absolutely hates them, which has 37 agencies under its control. These include large bodies such as Natural England and the Environmental Agency, and a host of smaller agencies such as the Office for Environmental Protection and the Joint Nature Conservation Committee. Because, yeah, it's a story I'll always... Obviously, there's the Bat Tunnel. That's a really funny one. But there are people who have had their foundations of their houses crumbling and they want to fix it, but they found a badger hole underneath, and so they can't fix the foundations of the house because a badger is under there with a den, and they're an endangered species or whatever, so you can't fix the house. Problem is, if your foundation of your houses are screwed, you're going to crush the badgers. So, but that's the law, and that's what these Quangos do. They're anti-growth, as Liz Truss was saying. But there we go. So one source said, "Go on."
I just looked up there because I didn't think there were. Badgers aren't endangered, so I don't know why there's all the laws around you can't kill them.
I think it's an EU law or an old EU law, because this is newts aren't endangered here either, but we have to protect newts, and it's because in some areas of Europe they're endangered. so they were put on this big list that we have not taken out of our statute books because we never had the big bonfire of EU regulation that was promised by the Tories. Defend that, Tory boy. You what?
Do you remember the Badger Cull?
I do remember the Badger Cull.
I am still traumatized by politics from like 2015 because it was just like debates over things no one actually cares about. Oh, you can't kill the badgers. The badgers are giving cows TB. Oh, but the badgers are cute. You can't kill them. It's like, who cares? Who cares?
Weirdo socialists.
That's actually, I was going to say, that's actually how a vast majority of our animal welfare laws are. Effectively, if it's cute, it does get special treatment. It's why pandas still exist. They're trying their damnedest to become extinct, but we want to keep them alive effectively because they're cute.
And they spend billions on it, yeah.
You're not wrong.
Badgers do actually make good sporns.
There you go.
Was it 2015 as well when Theresa May just marched in? Well, I think fox hunting shouldn't be banned.
That was
The thing is-
2017.
17.
That was a funny
The
one.
thing is, you look into it and you realize actually fox hunting isn't nearly as bad as people make it out to be. But that's a very hard case to make when you've got like Peter and any of the other various lobbyists, and I guess just your average sort of normie starts clutching their pearls.
I mean,
and they think that it's
I'm not being funny.
like fox hunting from like the 1700s or something.
I'm not being funny, but
You know,
what happens at the end of an actual fox hunt is the hounds tend to rip the fox to shreds. It is actually quite cruel, but you have
It's a
alternatives.
mixture of animal
Some-
cruelty and
well, it
upper
depends,
class
right?
being
It's
hated
not
as
really.
well. So
Yeah, well,
Well, it depends. If it's being hunted and it gets shot, then it doesn't get, it doesn't feel it. But what I'm saying is that it's not always as bad as people make it out to be, and I am fully of the opinion now that it's probably mostly sort of Peter environmentalist propaganda on how bad it actually is in comparison to how it actually turns out to be. I'm convinced of that at this point.
There is a perfectly rational alternative, which is that an alternative is effectively, if a horse dies or something, they have they put the meat in the fridge or whatever. You put it in like a burlap sack or whatever, and it gets dragged by a horse at the front, and that's how it simulates a fox hunt. That no one has a problem with. They were still trying to ban that.
Kill any foxes.
Yeah. And fox hunters are fine with doing that. Some of the toffs might be a bit traditionalist about it, but
I think we should turn to our resident fox hunting expert.
Well, I mean, the
Tory
thing
boy,
is,
take it away.
foxes are pests at the end of the day.
Well, yeah,
Exactly.
yeah. I mean, well, that's why I don't really care, even if they do get a bit ripped apart. But
As you know,
mean, generally. Oh, sorry. Go on.
Well, my politics is whatever Peter is saying, it do the opposite.
I mean, I generally agree. I mean, to be fair, I personally wouldn't go fox hunting, but would I go, once I had my license sorted out, would I go and cull, say, pheasant? Yeah, absolutely. That's
pheasant,
not
yeah.
something.
Pheasant is delicious, to be fair.
It is.
Is it? I don't think pheasant's that nice.
Oh, I love pheasant.
Philistine.
It's a bit too gamey for me.
People keep saying gamey, and I'm not entirely sure what it means. I've eaten a lot of pheasant.
You're not very good at being a toff, are you, Tory?
I'm not a toff.
I'm not a toff. I'm just part of the Tory party. Anyway, yes. So.
But yeah, Oh, sorry, Karen.
Well, no, you can
Go
finish. I was moving on.
Oh no, I was just going to say, but overall, it's. I think that the main problem with the fox hunting was it probably just is. It was just terrible optics at the time, and I think that was the main problem.
It's just
It was class warfare.
Yeah, pretty much. Yes. Even though in North Wales it's not typically, well, one, it's not toff country, two, it's not the toffs doing the fox hunting. Anyway, Rachel Reeves plans to scrap VAT on energy to lower bills.
Have they tried getting rid of the green subsidies? That might lower bills.
Well, I'd rather just have that. Why make VAT even more complicated? Downing Street is drawing up plans to reduce household energy costs and is considering scrapping VAT on fuel bills. Rachel Reeves, the Chancellor, told the Cabinet on Tuesday that she had asked officials to work up proposals in the budget to reduce bills and ease the cost of living. She said all options are on the table, which is understood to include lowering the 5% VAT rate on domestic energy bills to zero. This would save consumers about £86 a year and cost the Treasury an estimated £1.75 billion a year based on the current energy price cap. Why do we still have a price cap? Tory boy, why did Theresa May bring in the energy price cap?
Socialism? I don't know.
Because it's one thing my dad loves going on about it. It was an Ed Miliband thing. It was on his stupid Ed Stone.
It was.
Yeah. Well, I love the stories behind that, where basically every Labour staffer was like, "This was stupid, Ed. What are you doing?"
This is your tombstone.
Controls.
Yeah.
Controls on immigration. Remember controls on immigration?
Was that on the Ed Stone?
Yeah, because it was like the 6 promises,
Yeah.
and they made graphics up for all of them. And so there was in the Labour HQ there was a mug with controls on immigration stamped on the side of it. It was the funniest
Incredible.
thing.
Strong economic foundation, higher living of standard for working families, NHS with time to care. Yeah, for number 4, control on immigration. A country where the next generation can do better than the last, and homes to buy, and action on rent. It's all everything you'd expect from Labour, but yeah, it's just awful optics.
Back to this VAT thing, though.
Yes.
I think I've heard somewhere that the green levy on attacks.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's absolutely insane.
Oh,
it's the same as fuel duty, because fuel duty is put onto petrol, and then the VAT is charged on top of it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Like 90% of what you pay for petrol is just tax. It's correct. Like oil, petrol's actually quite cheap. It's just massively put up because of the tax that's on it.
But when I bring it up about cigarettes, people think that I'm mad.
Oh no, cigarettes should cost like £2 a pack for the 15 because of all the tax. Badenoch leader.
Can I tell you this story? I went to Germany, and I was shocked at how cheap cigarettes are in Germany.
Yep. Yeah, we're a
like,
crazy nanny state country, and everyone seems to love it, and I don't know why.
It was like €9 for 20 cigarettes, and that was normal prices, which is half as much as it is here.
Belgium's the cheapest, I think, in the whole of Western Europe.
Well,
I can't remember what it was when I went, but yeah.
I think if you go to like Cyprus or something, that's even cheaper.
God damn it, Wikipedia! Stop making me like Boris Johnson. Boris Johnson called the Ed Stone some weird commie slab.
I mean, stop clock twice a day. Am I right?
Oh, he was very funny.
No, he was good before he met Carrie. Oh, good.
Oh, that
he
is
was funny.
Yeah.
I will actually give you that.
So yes, Kevin Badenoch says lift the restriction on oil and gas drilling in the North Sea. To be fair, that's Reform's plan. So whatever. Miliband, who is under pressure to reverse his moratorium on new exploration licences in British waters, has previously promised to reduce energy bills by £300 by 2030, partly by shifting to using more energy from wind farms. I hate Ed Miliband with a passion. However, there is concern in government that delays to clean energy projects will mean he misses that target, and the support for net zero policies will fall when consumers pay more for their energy this winter. That's already happened. We're already way past that. I think even the Greens would be up for drilling North Sea at this point. Let's not be ridiculous.
I mean, you can dream. You can dream.
Have you seen has anyone seen any podcast with the energy woman that's doing the rounds at the moment, basically saying that the time to turn around our gas power stations and actually refurb them or build a new one is longer than it is that we're going to start having to decommission them. So we are actually in a situation where something drastic needs to happen, otherwise we're going to have blackouts. But she said it's something like an 8-year lead to get a turbine.
I won't be funny, but I've had a letter through my door this week saying how to prepare for a power cut. So, I've not had that before.
So the one funny thing is that we've been predicting power cuts in this country for years, and the reason why they haven't happened is because so much manufacturing has been shut down that we actually don't use as much power as we used to.
Catherine Porter's a name, and I don't think that's the actual reason, because she addresses that in, I think, the IEA one at least. We actually buy a lot of power from France, but the one she was harping on about was we buy loads from Norway as well.
Yeah.
And Norway's
Yeah.
their levels of hydropower has been going down every year for the past few years, so it's actually quite a big deal in Norway at the moment that they want to stop exporting electricity because they're saying it's risking their own reserves, because obviously they use the reservoirs and things to then supply us whenever we're in drought, an energy drought.
Yeah.
So there are actually the ways that we've been coping with it might start to dry up.
The hilarious thing as well is that the whole Norwegian Norway's basically not economy, was it their fund, their wealth fund, isn't that basically entirely based on North Sea oil?
Yeah, by law it's made out of profits from that.
Yeah.
Didn't they just start tapping a well as well? That
they started.
Also, it overlaps with our but the well that they've just started tapping, it overlaps with our waters as well. So they're literally just sucking it dry underneath our bit of the North Sea.
Yeah, which techno. Oh God, I mean, licensing's a bit complicated when it comes to that, but effectively, yeah. The thing is, they have full reign on that because obviously Ed Miliband's like, well, we've not got licenses here anymore, and it's like you're an idiot. So yeah, expect your energy bills to go down slightly because the 5% VAT is going, I guess. Yes, the big news. Tories face more defections after Danny Kruger MP joins Reform. Yeah, what a day.
Who?
Danny Kruger. Don't say who.
I don't know
Don't say who. Don't say who. You know who. You know exactly who. He was one of the good ones. He was a big Genric ally. This is actually devastating. And I know it is.
Robert Jenrick's
campaign manager.
Campaign manager for the leadership race.
Yeah, it was. I think I said this in the Discord. Like, this is actually a massive blow to Robert Jenrick, who obviously is having a massive go at Zia Yusuf for days because they always have a spat, and then his campaign manager literally leaves to work under Zia Yusuf. And said that multiple times in the press conference. Hilarious.
I keep mishearing it as Dunning-Kruger, which I know is not quite the same thing.
Oh no!
But
that's ironic.
Yeah, I didn't know who he was prior to this at all. I have no idea.
He was prominent during the assisting dying debate. He was the main opposition to it, really, wasn't he?
Yeah, big opposition to that.
No wonder he had to leave the Tories for that. Fine.
Well, they had a free vote. It was quite. I did see Rubber saying, Danny Kruger's already against the assisted dying position that Reform have, and it's like, you're not even up to date, Rubber. They had a free vote on it, and half them voted against, half them voted for. It wasn't a good result, don't get me wrong, but, you know, it's not Reform position, you idiot.
There's weird stuff going on around that as well. Was it Tice and Lowe put it to their constituents and held a poll? It's
a stupid way to do it. It's you know, they're political, they're amateur MPs. You know, they'll improve. Anyway, Kruger, previously the Shadow Minister for Welfare, said the Tory Party. That's the other thing. This was a front bencher, so even more harsh. Technically, yeah, not one of the big ones. I'll give you that, but he was also quite core to the small C Conservative wing of the Tory Party. It is quite devastating, and Tory Boy is coping, but he's coping well. The Tory, I want you to hear this. Kruger said the Tory Party is over and will lead to a new preparing for government team with Nigel Farage. I want your reaction, Tory Boy. Is the Tory Party over?
While I have breath in my lungs, the Tory Party will never quite be over.
Just going to be you and Rees-Mogg standing alone.
Yeah.
That'd be quite a funny ending, to be fair.
I mean, I have joked about this, but there is a scarily, likely event that somehow I have to end up working in central office because nobody else will do it.
I mean, I guess if they'll pay you.
How have they managed to sort out the money troubles, by the way? Because they were in massive money troubles earlier in the year. And
they sacked a load of people from CCHQ. Loads of people got sacked. that's what happened.
That happens after every election.
Yeah, I mean that. Well, it was mentioned by some independent journalist that Kemi Badenoch effectively blamed a load of the CCHQ staff for the drop in the polls and got whoever was in charge of CCHQ to sack a load of people and blame them for laziness, which is a really ironic thing for Kemi Badenoch to blame someone else for. Like, Kemi Badenoch calling someone else lazy is very funny. Given the
Clash of Clans is hard, okay?
Well,
she works very hard at Clash. Yeah, wait, sorry.
I know Tory Bull keeps trying to say, "Oh, it's not true. It's just a Max Tempers rumor." Nah, it's true.
Look, if she was playing Genshin Impact, then I would have given her some slack. But no, it's like some Clash of Clans. It's like some boomer coded. Like, you know what? I'd have more respect for her if she said she was playing Farmville. You know, if you're gonna play like an old boomer Facebook game,
that's old school.
Like, I was gonna say, if you said that, I'd be like, this woman has commitment. You know, she's been at this for literally a couple of decades. But no.
Hilarious.
Clash Royale takes real skill.
Anyway, Farage said that there will be more colleagues of Kruger who will join Reform, and he told the Times, "I've got a couple of bars here and here that have to be cleared. Number one, we have to see if they genuinely in policy terms are with us, and secondly, that they are not coming for a meal ticket, but to add to our movement, and to add to our party what they are trying to do." Yeah, good. I think they're two pretty good bars.
That is the best outcome.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, they'd be happy to have Mog, you know. Go on.
Niggling thing, Nadim Doris doesn't fit those.
I was going to say
she's not a sitting MP. Go on, Sarah.
The easy filter is all of the people who voted for the euthanasia bill. And I think that's probably the easy filter.
Reform that's not going to be considered with Reform, I think, given they gave a free vote.
I think Richard Tice voted for it.
Yeah, that's not... Well, so did Rupert Lowe.
Again, through the weird thing of polling the constituents, because they said they basically didn't want to have to put forward their own vote on it. So.
Yeah, stupid. I agree. But no, on the Nadine Dorries thing, from what I've heard, the reason they accepted her was basically because of her book and the fact she's good on TV. I don't think they're going to use her beyond that. I don't think she's becoming an MP again, anyway. So, among those considered defection targets for Reform, and Nadhim Swahi, don't know about that one. The former Tory Chancellor, Dame Priti Patel, definitely not. Sir John Hayes, not sure who that is. Patel said that any discussion about her defection was complete rubbish. Yeah, because I'm surprised. Like, Esther McVeigh, I would have thought was one, possibly David Davies, but he's probably done it in because he's a let-be truther.
I'd be very happy if Frost came over.
Who?
Lord Frost.
Oh, Frost, yeah. Frost would be good. There's not many. Mark Francois one I'd like. Esther McVeigh wouldn't be too bad. David Davis, as I say.
Mr. Greggs.
Mark Francois.
Yeah. Oh, he's very funny. And he's very much
he's
a
hilarious.
small C conservative. I think he'd be a good fit for Reform.
I mean, he sounds awfully French. Just
he was one of the biggest Eurosceptics in Parliament.
Yeah, he was an incredible Eurosceptic. He was very funny as well.
What was his Greggs thing back in the day?
I can't remember. Tory Boy must remember that. I don't remember.
No, I don't remember.
I remember something to do with him and Greggs. But anyway. I can't remember exactly what it was, but yeah.
I don't know. Nothing comes up on Google, I'll put it that way. I think it was a former defence minister anyway. But yeah, that list that the Times have come up with, that is not at all who I thought. Well, I know Priti Patel isn't going to join. Suella Braverman's not going to join. Jenrick's pretty much... Well, there's no way Jenrick's going to join. So it'd be interesting to see who else filters through. But as I say, I think they'll filter through over the next month. Because it's October, isn't it? Your conference, Tory Boy? Are you going to the conference?
I'm not going to conference. Conference is always the first week of October.
Yeah, fair enough.
But no, I'm not going.
You'd boo.
I think that there'd be quite. I think there'd be quite good opportunities with some of the 2019 like Northern intake, like even if they're not MPs anymore, if they want to get back in, like quite a few of them were quite solid, and they didn't seem.
Well, they
very
got
wet.
Drake Berry, didn't they?
Oh, they did get Berry, yeah. It was here. He wasn't 2019 intake, was he? I thought he was there for a while. I can't remember. He was a funny. Him and Nadine Dorris. Everyone was like, "Oh, why are you getting them in?" And it's sitting MPs. Obviously, it's a higher bar. Ex MPs, I think it's just doing a bit of damage to the Tory party. Plus, can you actually give us good advice? Is the bar for them? Obviously, with sitting MPs, you need to be a lot more careful because they will be trying to keep their incumbent seat, which a lot of people accuse Danny of. Which maybe that is part of the reason he joined, but being the first person to go to reform from the Tories is a big step, to be fair. So,
Wasn't
I
the big
do think
criticism
that people.
No, you go first. Sorry.
Well, I was going to say, people talk about Danny Kruger as if he's some, amazingly principled guy. He's not going to be doing this unless he really does it. To be honest, he's a man like anyone else.
Yeah.
He's human. He knows which way the wind is blowing.
Yeah.
I don't think that there's any high-minded ideals happening here.
No, the first thing he said is the Tory party's dead. It's pretty obvious he's going over partially to keep the job. I understand that, but he's also
This is a better
useful.
reaction than the Steve Baker reaction of going home and crying to your wife that you're in a socialist party.
Yeah.
Like actually going to another party and saying, okay, no, I'm leaving and I hate you all.
Well, I always find it funny that Steve
It's
Baker
like
hasn't
political
joined.
post-clarity.
Maybe. I'm kind of surprised Steve Baker hasn't already joined them, but he's one of the ones I think that keeps saying they're socialists. So, which, yeah, we live in a 21st century democracy. Everyone votes for free stuff. Well done. So Lord,
I didn't know that.
Go on.
I was going to say just about Danny Kruger. I didn't know apparently both his parents are South African, aren't they?
Yeah.
He doesn't sound at all, obviously, because he was raised here, but like someone's
But
bringing up, like,
he's got
his attitude.
He's got the look, doesn't he?
Yeah,
Danny
well, and
Kruger.
that he's like a South African Protestant, being quite hardcore and quite conservative.
So Lord Frost, the former Brexit secretary, said on Monday that many Tory MPs were thinking that maybe it's time for me to go too. Farage has ruled out accepting Boris Johnson or Liz Truss, the former Conservative Prime Ministers, into the party. Good move. Zia Yusuf said the stampede off the sinking ship has begun. Writing for the Times, Kruger said the failure of the Tory party has created space for an alternative. The flame is passing from one torch to another. The old torch is guttering, but the new torch is already alight, already brighter than the one it's replacing. Yeah, I was...
Absolute nonsense. What does any of that even mean?
It means that small c conservatism is not represented in the Tory party anymore and is being represented in the Reform Party. That's what that means. And so it's time for the Tory party to accept that they're dead and move over to the Reform Party to carry on small c conservatism there. That's what me and John are doing. And I hope other people on this, well, Enigmatic as well, but other people on this panel I hope are too.
Yeah, I think in a nicer way, saying that the Tory party is getting carved up between Reform and the Lib Dems.
Yeah, it's gonna happen. Of course it is. You're gonna join the Lib Dems, Tory. I can see it. You're socialist.
Go on, Tory. You could be a fun uncle.
I've gone to a few fun Lib Dem parties in my time.
Oh, he's he's tainted. He's tainted.
I mean, dare I tell the story? Oh no, I shouldn't tell that story. Anyway, all right.
Okay, now you've just made us all want to know.
Yeah, go on, Tory boy. What are you gonna say?
No.
Let me put it this way.
No, paygate it. If everyone becomes a member, we have a behind the scenes.
There you go.
Tosh behind the scenes.
No, it's not that. It's not that good. But let me just put it this way: Liberal Democrats generally have more women at their events than Tories do.
Shock!
I can
My
believe
God.
that, actually.
What could your story possibly be that you can't say it publicly?
No,
I can guess.
It's not that good.
Well, it's not going to be on Google.
No, I'm not googling it. I've got some breaking news. Penny Mordaunt planning a comeback to save the Tories from reform. Live reaction from Tory boy. What do you think of Penny Mordaunt leading you?
This story goes round
I
every
actually
3 months.
forgot who she was.
As long as she's carrying that sword,
She
Tory
car-
boy will follow her anywhere.
She carried the sword and was leader of the House of Commons, and she's very wet.
Lol.
She's not that wet.
Tory boy, sorry, no.
What do you mean by wet?
I can't do
You
this.
know what I mean by
She was on the
wet.
celebrity
just-
diving thing.
No, Tory boy. She let's be real. She wrote to the bishops of the Church of England to say, please allow gay marriage. What do you mean she's not wet?
Look, she's a bit wet on that one issue.
I can't deal with this. I'm muting myself. I can't.
Margaret Thatcher was dry.
Margaret Thatcher voted in favour of decriminalising homosexuality.
Oh, so did Enoch Powell, and he was based, whatever.
Yeah, there's only the two of them, wasn't it?
Something like that. Oh, God. She's pledged to return to the Tory party languishes in third place in the polls on 17.4, some distance behind Reform on 31%, and Labour on 20%. I'm a foot soldier now and I do whatever I can where I am to help Kemi and the party. Being a Tory at the moment is no fun. I think we know that. I can think of much more fun things to do, but I can't think of anything more important. We've got to do the hard yards at building back a policy platform that's actually going to do what the public need us to do. People are fed up with the politics as usual. They don't care if the cat is red or blue. They want some mice caught. What's she talking about, Tory boy? What does that mean?
Deng Xiaoping? Wait, isn't that a Deng Xiaoping quote?
I have no idea.
I think it might be.
I'm almost certain that's a quote from Deng Xiaoping. Yeah, I don't care about the colour of the cat as long as it catches the mice.
There you go.
Yeah, wasn't that about market reforms?
Yeah, well, him taking over after Mao. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a really weird thing to reference if it is just that. Maybe it's just.
But I told you she's wet. She's a communist. Like, you know.
She's not a communist. She's a Lib Dem.
Yeah, I mean, communist.
You repeat yourself.
So yeah, Penny Morton going to be leader. Tory boy in tatters yet again. Reform wants to scrap neutral civil service and hire anti-ECHR staff. Reform UK could create a new department for immigration, staffed solely by people who would agree with the party's radical policies to leave the ECHR and implement mass deportations.
I mean, that's the way to do it.
Well, fire everyone and replace it with a load of communists.
Well, yeah.
I don't think that's the problem. I think the problem is that you basically need a career in the civil service to be able to navigate the civil service. And so if you've got people in that need to try and do that haven't been through it, it's going to be incredibly hard.
Yeah.
Maybe if you had someone like Cummings in there, just being like, all right, I have been in government and been studying just how this all works. I can do this on my own. Maybe. But I could see that them bringing in a load of people and it's being a disaster because the civil servants run rings around them with protests and things like that.
Well, unless you...
Cummings failed to do anything.
Yeah, I was going to say, you need a total gutting of the way the civil service works, really. You know, well, we have these protocols, all right, get rid of the protocols then. Can't do that, Minister, these protocols. Great Repeal Act, easy.
Yeah, and also, isn't it that Cummings has basically said what you need to do is just have an executive that will just sign everything that comes to them, say, I have my full authority behind everything that you're doing, just go off and kill everything off.
That's pretty much what Sir John Redwood did with Margaret Thatcher. He was just put in charge of funding different parts of the civil service, and first year he went through everything and rejected like 90% of them, and then year 4, 5, 3, 4, 5, whatever, beyond there, people just didn't bother because they made this culture of only things that were actually worth it go through. Whereas obviously in the olden days, in the 70s, why'd you have no money? Because everything went through. So yeah, you could have an executive that does something like that again. In places, and it's as Dominic Cummings says, there will be right-wingers in there, and most people will probably just try and do what they want. But I know people in the civil service, if they're in a position where they're doing things they don't like, they just try their best to move jobs. And that slows things down as well, because then they just don't do their job. Plans for government. Tice also said he would open the idea of judges being political appointments. He was speaking on a platform with 2 former Conservative cabinet ministers to endorse... I think this is the other thing. The more you get people experienced with government, the more this plan will get fleshed out. So I am fine with them replacing a lot of people in the civil service. I would still try and keep the veneer of this is politically neutral. Basically because I think it helps stop radicalism. I say that. People are radical more than ever now, so maybe that's not true. It's a tough one. But, you know, it's a bright spark new idea, and I can give them that. Right. Ex-Reform MP investigated over racial abuse online. I
All
still.
it took was a single letter.
It's what.
Do you remember when
Look, he
people
was just typing
saying-
N by accident. I don't know what you mean.
You're
Like-
My finger slipped.
But did you see when people were like, "Oh, that never happened. That tweet is like a fake picture," and I was like, "Wait a minute, I saw it when it
Yeah,
did.
I saw it,
literally
yeah.
remember seeing it
Ev-
live at the time." And I was
ev-
like, "What are you
Wait,
talking
sorry.
about?"
There's the word N tower in a Times article. This is hilarious.
Oh dear.
N Tower. I mean, it's as soon as this happened, I posted the Better Call Saul meme where it's Your Honour, my client could never have predicted that the rest of the other accounts would spell out as soon as he put that single letter. Which is basically what he said. He's like, "Oh, it was an innocuous accidental N." It's like, nobody believes that. Come on, you're surrounded. The problem with James McMurdoch is that he's with Rupert Lowe, and his entire team is full of edgelords. So he's trying to fit in. It's pretty obvious, and it's put him in hot water because, as we've said for ages, same thing happened with the Lotus Eaters. You can't be an edgy boy and an MP. You're supposed to be professional. Anyway, Parliament's
Well, once
straight
again,
after
it's
he left.
proving.
It wasn't. It was after he left. Yeah. No. When did he put this? Actually, I can't remember.
No, it was a few weeks after he was kicked out of the form.
Yeah, there you go. Oh, hang on.
Technically resigned.
Yes, he removed the whip from himself. He was not kicked out, but he was
probably
told you're going to get kicked out if you don't remove the whip from yourself.
Yeah.
Like a saving face thing.
Yeah, exactly. Parliament's sleaze watchdog has launched an investigation into an MP over claims he used social media to facilitate racial abuse. I don't know why I'm laughing, because that basically did happen. That is accurate. But it's just funny to read.
Allegedly.
Yeah.
I just
No,
want
it's the
to
image
make,
of him going, chat, no, chat, no.
Go on,
I just
Chat,
want
don't
to.
spell out that word.
I'm just getting the urge to draw like a comic book with a superhero, but just instead of like an S on his chest, he's just got an N.
No.
Just
Do you not remember the Biden campaign, and they had the picture of Biden and Obama, and it just said N? Because obviously you're supposed to have. He had like 5 pictures, and it spelled like Biden, and the one with the N had Obama in it with him.
Oh
Yeah.
no.
No.
Oh no.
Oh, no.
Disavow.
There was definitely an edgy boy in the Dems camp that day. So the Standards Commissioner is investigating James McMurdoch, who was elected as Reform MP last year, but suspended himself after allegations over loans he had claimed during the pandemic. Which still, I think the biggest scandal there is why were the Tories letting a load of people have loans and not vetting them? But anyway, the watchdog will.
Mate, this is about us.
I'm making everything about you. The watchdog will examine allegations that the South Basildon and East Thurrock MP started an N tower on social media, described as a means of using a racial slur against an individual on an online platform while circumventing moderation that will remove racially abusive content. It's it's the bit in Shrek as well. Oh, merry men, and they've all got one of the letters of ginger on top of them. The practice involves spelling out a racial slur vertically, with each individual posting a single letter of the word in order to spell it vertically. The Times is literally telling the boomers about our culture.
I mean, it just
This is
proves
so
the internet
surreal.
is real life.
Yeah, well, yeah, Twitter's real life now, as it turns out. It's more true every day, I suppose. The complainant said the slur was the N-word, with letters appearing in subsequent posts under Mr. McMurdoch's first X over roughly 30 minutes. It took them 30 minutes to build this N tower.
Oh, come on, that's way too slow.
McMurdoch's original post was the letter N and was subsequently deleted. He told Times Radio he would cooperate with the investigation, which follows a complaint by fellow MP, adding, "I'll respond and they'll clear it." Oh, God, again, the Better Call Saul thing. Oh, I couldn't have possibly have thought that they'd make the N-word underneath my post. Oh, you're 30 odd, man. Come on. Everyone
He's a
knows.
bit old to actually
What if
know
you-
about that, is he not?
No, again,
Hey,
I think it's joining
How
in with
old is-
Lowe's lot, and they're a bunch
how
of
old
edgy
is he
boys.
again?
It's
Oh, there you go,
39.
39, he says there.
30 what? 39.
39.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, he's older than me. But yeah, he's
Well,
So
he's
still in my I was gonna say he'll still know about it.
He's
on those parts of the internet.
He's my brother's age. My brother knows what it is, therefore he probably knows. Let's be real.
Yeah, there you go.
What does your brother get up to online?
Well,
I thought he was supposed to be.
Yeah, he's a lefty, but he trolls through my Twitter every now and then.
Oh no.
McMurdoch39 has denied the allegations and said he unknowingly posted an entirely random, wholly insignificant one-letter comment while on holiday, and he said he started posting pictures of like the holiday he was on, and it's like this isn't flying.
I was here. I couldn't have been doing this.
Yeah,
it's so funny.
Yeah, it's like
look, I was random pictures of children's play park, and you're like, what are you talking about?
And yeah, why not just do what Zia Yusuf did, which was blame it on an intern? Just throw someone nameless under the bus. I suppose then it has to go to the
Look at your chat.
What? No, EC19. No, chat. No. I suppose if he got sent to the standards watchdog, he'd have to explain who his intern was, but who knows. Anyway. So yes, he's being investigated because he's been a naughty boy, but it's very funny to read about internet culture. At least a lot of that was accurate, and it's not doing what a lot of people are doing with the Charlie Kirk thing of trying to say that the guy who shot him was a groper. One, clearly no one knows what that is. Two, no, Chow Bella is not a far-right thing. Neither is ooh, look at your bulge. You know, it's crazy.
I don't know, I think I could see both of those coming out of Nick Fuentes' mouth, to be fair.
Yeah, well, we've all seen Destiny coming out of Nick Fuentes' mouth as well, to be fair. So,
I've fortunately not seen the Destiny clips, but
did you say unfortunately?
No, I said fortunately.
Oh, okay.
Unfortunately, chat. Sorry, I've been scouring the internet. I've been trying to find them, you know. But alas, I have not found them.
So there's this scandal, I guess, with Farage because his girlfriend bought a home in Clacton that Farage apparently has nothing to do with, and everyone's like, oh, how can she afford it? She was a waitress a few years ago. And it costs £885,000, but I don't know.
You should be able to buy all of Clacton for £885,000.
I would like to let the people of Clacton know that I adore them dearly and would never make such a joke.
Oh, am I too edgy for you now? Oh dear.
Well, you're not trying to be an MP anymore, are you? So you can be edgy
anymore.
Yeah, your party died, mate. So, Reform UK leader said that Laurie Ferrari, who is French, they put that in because he's Mr. Brexit. That's what it says. Yeah, Ferrari.
He's worked his way around Europe, hasn't he?
Yeah, he's had a German wife. He's got a French girlfriend now. Yeah, it is quite funny, really, to think about. Came to stay with him in 2017 before they were in a relationship because she needed somewhere to stay that wouldn't cost her any money. You can get a very good job and save money in, 8 years? But either way, even if Farage led to some money, what's the issue here? 3 years earlier, Ferrari told Euroactiv, a Brussels publication, that she had started to working as a waitress in Strasbourg, I can't read French, to make ends meet. She met Farage while working in a restaurant and later secured a role in his European Parliamentary office. Okay. Farage has faced questions.
She wasn't a waitress.
She was.
Back then, she wasn't a waitress.
Yes. Yeah, true, actually, yeah. Farage has faced questions over who funded the purchase of his constituency home in Frinton-on-Sea, Essex, in November 2024, the 4-bedroom property. He initially...
Young.
You what?
How old is she?
I don't know. She looks fairly young, to be fair. I don't know, it doesn't say.
Fair, Harry, it doesn't sound like you need to be a political leader. You need to be a political leader's girlfriend.
I can put on a wig. He initially said he had bought the property.
Then you get a nice house.
Have had a lucrative career beforehand as well.
Or your average Tory MP's gay lover. I suppose that could also be another one.
Oh, yeah.
Well, you're already sucking up to Zia Yusuf anyway.
That's true.
Well, that's definitely a vector for you.
Yeah. He needs to follow me on Twitter. However, it has since emerged that Ferrari is the sole person named on the deed and there is no mortgage registered against it, meaning she bought it in cash. Okay. Had Farage purchased it himself, he would have been liable to pay the £44,250 surcharge in stamp duty for a second home. He already owns an £1 million property in Sevenoaks, Kent, which he kept as part of his divorce. Farage said he had misspoken when he said he had bought the Essex house. He had denied claims that he lent Ferrari funds in order to avoid the high rate of tax, stating, "I haven't lent money to anybody, I didn't give her money. I did not." So it might be investigated and have to pay stamp duty. But to be fair, like, everyone's saying,
why? If it's her name on the deed and he gifted the money, then it's just her house.
Well, alright, I suppose
you're not married.
Be the I suppose it'd be a scandal thing then.
Doesn't always have to be, I don't think. Or does it?
Oh, JR's saying all news that scandal proved he's spotless. I've not heard of this one before.
But also, what do you mean? It doesn't matter if they're married or not. If he'd gifted the money, and then she just used it to buy a house, it's under her
they have
name.
like a joint
he doesn't
account.
own it.
Yeah.
No, they don't.
Yeah, but he's saying
he didn't gift the money.
He's retaining rights to the use of the house. Therefore, he would still be considered to have a stake in it if he gifted the money.
Where has he said that he's retaining rights to use in the house?
He lives there.
Or does he live with her?
Yeah, but if he gifted her the money, but it would be a gift with reservation if he's got use of the house that she bought with the money that he gifted her.
There you go.
I see what you mean.
I'm not sure that's how that would work, because if they split up, then she'd keep the house.
Not gifts with reservations are normally used when parents gift the house to their children to avoid inheritance tax.
According to Dan Needle, he'd only be liable for the second house stamp duty if there was a transaction where he lent her the money, which we have no evidence that actually happened.
That's what I just said.
Yes, okay, that's fine. Okay, well, this is a big scandal that everyone's talking about. I don't really care because, as I say, I don't think what's she called? Rayner should have been sacked for her tax avoidance, so I don't really care about this one.
Well, I was gonna say the only reason that this is coming up was because they're trying to deflect, and it's not.
But they're trying to get dirt on him. The problem is that Farage has been about for 30 years, and they've dug up all the dirt they can on him, and he's actually relatively spotless. So.
It also wouldn't hit the same either, because he's not been saying that tax avoidance costs lives. So.
No, he's pro tax avoidance as far as I can tell.
Also, he wasn't the housing minister.
Yes, quite. Right. Stop allowing luxury cars purchases on the Motability scheme, ministers urged. Using second-hand cars and scrapping tax breaks could save billions in the car leasing scheme for disability benefit claimants, research finds. You don't say.
I think people.
You think you're governed by Labour. You're actually governed by Max Tempest.
Posting to Policy Pipeline. Max Tempest, if you're in the chat, give us a wave.
And also a super chat.
Yeah, actually, yeah. Give us a super chat. We're shouting you out here. Scrapping tax breaks for new cars given to people via the benefit system and using second-hand vehicles could save taxpayers more than £1 billion a year, research suggests. Motability scheme needs stricter rules to stop a surge in claims for mental health problems and to end subsidies for luxury cars, according to former civil servant who oversaw the programme. 1 of 5 new cars in Britain are now brought on Motability, a company that allows disability benefit claimants to exchange their Motability allowance for a lease on a new car. Using the scheme has increased by more than a third since 2017 and is now giving £2.8 billion in taxpayer cash every year. Oof. Political concern over the cost of sickness benefits rises. The scheme has attracted criticism, including fears that the claimants are being coached by online sickfluencers to access expensive cars through the scheme. That's literally a Max Tempers coinage, I think. Well, sickfluencers has probably been said by a load of people, but I know Max Tempers called them sickfluencers. But yeah, I mean, that's not the only thing with Motability. Motability is such a good deal. You lose out on £300 of benefit, something like that, a month to get a brand new car. The insurance is paid for, the MOT is covered, and then 3 years later, you get a brand new car. That's leased, obviously, but it's nuts how lucrative it is. And yeah, the other thing is that you always see it on Max Temper's Twitter. He's got his "Is this a Motability card checker?" and it's like if they're huffing drugs in their car, or if they're driving like an idiot, he'll check it and he'll be like, "Yep, that's Motability. You paid for this car," and everyone's annoyed. So yeah, good idea. Nearly 900 arrested at Palestine Action as they clashed with police. Good. They should be arrested. You cannot possibly support Palestine Action after they've literally injured police officers, security guards, and done millions of damage to our military aircraft. We all good with them being arrested?
So is that actually 100-1 unite the kingdom to Palestine Action?
Yes, it's quite a bit. Yeah.
100-1.
It's more than that. No, it's close.
Wasn't it 9 people on Unite the Kingdom?
No, it's 25.
Or am I misremembering?
It's 25.
Okay, sorry.
In fact, no. It was 25 last I checked. It'll almost certainly be more than that, because the way the Met Police police them is they survey it, have a load of cameras up, and then they arrest people after because they need the numbers there at the time.
Also, how many people on the Antifa side were actually arrested? Like, how many people were actually in the thing itself?
None.
Apparently, it was the because they were the ones that were apparently firing fireworks and stuff, from what I heard. So
I've not heard about fireworks going off, but I
thought I heard fireworks.
But
anyway,
sorry. Well, I was watching a stream literally all day. Didn't hear any I don't remember any fireworks, but I didn't have my full attention. But the people who were getting arrested from the Tommy Robinson side were literally people just there to have a scrap with police, and they don't represent obviously the movement as a whole. There are people who get drunk and just want to fight, and they fight the police because they're idiots. Actually, speaking of, Starmer condemns Unite the Kingdom rally as plastic patriotism. That's a stupid thing to say.
What, coming from an actual android?
Quite. Well, the vast majority of people there were literally just there to show, like, to fly the colours effectively. Most people there probably don't even know who Elon Musk and Tommy Robinson are, to be quite honest with you.
Weird to bring an Irish Republican flag there.
Oh, well, there were Canadian flags, there were Australian flags, there were Israel flags.
Okay.
There was a lot of people were there to show their nationalism as well, and they were quite open about it. And then White Vanguard,
national pride.
Well, White Vanguard took an Israel flag and tore it up and spat on it. That was quite funny to watch.
That was like the most cringe. You showed the promo that they shot, and I was almost embarrassed by it. I'm not sure who looked at that and thought, yeah, this will help further our cause.
Your saviors of the white race. Yeah, it's crazy.
Warrior spirit.
Yeah.
Oh god, such a cringe line.
It's like there are parts of there are parts of sort of the ethno-nat idea that I do actually sort of sympathize with, which is probably hilarious coming from my point, but they're not made equal, and that particular one just left me more confused than anything else.
Well, there you go. I just thought it was funny. It was stupid to outlaw them. It was not stupid to outlaw Palestine Action when they are literally saboteurs in our own country. What do you mean? It paves the way for outlawing other groups. I want groups that are sabotaging our own military capability outlawed. I'm okay with that. Anyway. Keir Starmer has condemned Saturday's Unite the Kingdom protest in central London, saying it had left people feeling more scared than they were before. I don't think that's true. He said the scenes of up to 150,000 people. By the way, I think that's an accurate number. Tommy Robinson was saying it was like 3 million. No way.
It was 1 billion people marching in London.
1.2 billion.
11 trillion.
Yeah. But they joined the rally.
I think it was definitely more than 150,000. Though.
It almost certainly wasn't. There's no way. It's
stupidly hard to judge crowd sizes, to be honest.
It's hard to judge crowd sizes, but if you saw my video, Cero, I compare the video that's shared by Tommy Robinson saying there's 1 billion people there with one of a Gaza protest that had 300,000. The 300,000 was definitely a lot bigger. So it's 150,000 I am pretty convinced by. And I trust the Met's police numbers over certainly Tommy Robinson's, who's trying to sell his own show.
I don't think it was like 3 million, though. I I do definitely think it was more than
Yeah, sorry.
150.
Sorry, I quickly want to address this in chat. Paint on a few
fine.
planes. They broke the jet engines. Like, it wasn't just paint, they crowbarred the engines, and it cost millions to replace. Yes, they should be considered terrorists. God.
It's
not
the
free
jets
speech.
were, the jets were inoperable afterwards. They had to be repaired.
Oh, they had to be replaced. You can't repair a jet engine.
Oh, yeah, no, sorry, I meant yeah.
There were not 500,000 people there. There were no more than there were. There certainly were no more. We can all agree there were not more there than there were for the first couple of Gaza marches, which had 300,000 people. It's just absurd to say it was anything. I'd probably push for 200,000 at most, but even that I think is ridiculous. It was 150,000. I'm fine with that number. It's hard to estimate crowd sizes, as you say.
Have you noticed the response from some people has been surprise?
Well,
I can't believe there's that many far-right people in this country. It's like, well, I mean, why? Why are we surprised at this?
Well, because they live in an actual bubble. They actually just do not, because in their friends group they do not come across people who especially will voice their opinion, or if they have friends they just won't talk about it. Like I'm relatively outspoken in some of my other friend groups, and I'm considered essentially the most right-wing person in a lot of people. I can think of a number of friends where I am the most right-wing person in their friend group, and I don't think that I'm even that particularly radical.
You are, don't worry.
Yeah. Well, no, guy, I've seen I've seen the people that make me blush, so I guess it's a sense of proportion, but
also this is a really new phenomenon that right-wing people actually march for anything.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing, right? Most of us just stay at home.
I think that's probably what's causing it. They're like, why are the right-wing people suddenly marching? It's like, that's usually a bad sign.
Well, that's it, because Hope Not Hate, it was a couple of people that were with them had this sort of podcast, and they actually bought the propaganda number 1 million.
Yes. Well, they had their own propaganda number as well, which is like, we had like 10,000 at least. No, you didn't. You had 5,000. That's a Met Police number, which I bet the people saying you trust the Met Police number. Yeah, I bet you trust that 5,000 number though.
It's in Hope Not Hate's interest to also big it up to then, from their angle, say the problem's as big as possible. From their
I think there's also a part of it which is just like Tommy Robinson. For some reason, like it's just it just focuses the mind when you hear Tommy Robinson's name associated with something. Suddenly, everyone starts caring for some reason. I don't understand it.
It is a bit of a lightning rod.
It's a weird one though, because I compare it to someone peaking in high school. He was only useful in the noughties. He's only useful in the 2000s when he was talking about the loot and grooming gangs. Ever since then, he's not actually done anything useful. And back in the day,
when was his Oxford Union speech?
Oh god, that was like 2010s, I think. Yeah,
I'd say up to then, probably. Yeah. It was when he started doing, was it Rebel Media and stuff? I think there was a big turning point.
Yeah, well, he turned
into. Do you remember the New Era?
The what?
Was that when he left Rebel?
No, that was when he left the EDL.
Yeah, vaguely, I think.
Do you remember the massive press conference they held with him and Majid Nawaz?
No.
Sorry, I vaguely do.
Yeah.
When Majid Nawaz was the CEO of, what was it, like Concilium? What was it called, the charity? Quilliam. And they were like, we've de-radicalized Tommy Robinson, isn't that great? And then it was like, what? Nothing's changed. What are you talking about?
Yeah. Who is this bothered now guy? EDL marched for years, but that's an inconvenient fact for you. I know they marched for years. What are you talking about? What?
I think that, what you're missing is that we're not saying that the right never marched, but I'm saying, in fact, I'd actually say that maybe one of the points in this particular case is that it actually wasn't really the right marching. Like this, compare this to Unite the Right, where they had the tiki torches in the US.
Which was a white nationalist movement. Which this wasn't.
Yeah. No, that's my point. So when the leftists think that the right are marching in the UK, this is why they're so shocked to say, why do they all look so normal? basically they're saying, why do they not have shaved
Well,
heads and tiki torches?
Well, that was quite. Well, yeah. Well, that was quite a funny thing with Trevor Phillips, who he was in the. Was he under Blair, Minister for Blair?
No, he was. He wasn't ever a minister. He wasn't an MP. He was the guy who wrote up the report that introduced the Race Relations Act, whatever it's called.
Right.
So he's spad then.
He was involved in the Blair government anyway. He's kind of He's kind of one of the architects, really, of a lot of our problems when it comes to our culture. But he's had a turnaround, really. And he just went to the march and he said, I interviewed a load of people, and basically they're all just normal. In fact, barely any of them were there for actually Tommy Robinson or Elon Musk. They were there just to effectively be part of the Raise the Colours campaign. I mean, this is why it's so big. Like, big things have happened recently. You've had, obviously, a load of protests around Epping. You then obviously have Tommy Robinson there, who, I don't like the guy, but he can make a crowd. And then obviously, usually he gets about 30,000 to 40,000 people. This one was much bigger because you had the momentum of the Epping win. Well, we lost, obviously, in the end. Raise the Colour campaign, and then Charlie Kirk getting shot as well. Probably inspired a few people. And people just wanted to go out to say, we're here and proud to be British and we want illegal migration sorted. Because that's the other really funny thing. Sorry, just the last point.
No, go for it.
A lot of people are going to try and say there's some white identitarian nonsense. And it's like, sorry, everyone I have seen vox popped always says, don't like the illegals, legal's fine. If you're coming in and playing like a really American, like kind of, melting pot vision for the future, which, is to the left of me, but this is the normie position, and this is what majority of people were there for. That's even what Tommy Robinson's opinion is. Hence, he had a load of New Zealanders there. Ben Habib was welcome as well, even though he's half Pakistani, half English, to be fair to him. And he's got. I think Tommy as well. His media company's Urban Scoop. That's basically always fronted by a black guy as well. So yeah, just these were normal people, and I'd say maybe, I don't know, a quarter of them were there specifically for Tommy Robinson.
Yeah, I would say that this is actually probably more of an extension of the Epping thing, so that because it's like, oh, these are actually just normal people, concerned about things that affect normal people. And I think that's probably, we mentioned the EDL earlier. I think that's actually where one of the major differences are. Your beforehand, they're also able to. It was actually a type of containment in a certain way, where it was like, okay, well, we can dismiss these people because they are sort of predefined EDL, but you can't dismiss these people because they're like, well, Baz at the pub. And yeah.
Well, the EDL was football hooligans trying to do politics, wasn't it?
More or less.
And that's their right, but they were also able to.
It was then taken over by actual white nationalists. That's why Tommy Robinson left.
Yeah. And I would say that they definitely were a useful pressure group where they were, but they were relatively ineffective overall.
I was going to say, where were they effective? I don't even know.
I think more is just like a pressure. Just there is something, I don't know how to quantify it, and I might just be completely wrong, but I think that there is something to the idea that just having voices, just they're sort of like anchoring points, something like that. Because I sort of think, well, you look at the regimes where you can't have any opposition at all. I think that some opposition is better than none. And it also gives you a good bearing as to, let's say you're a conservative, and let's say you're actually conservative. It gives you sort of a bearing where your left is and also where your right is. And you can sort of find a middle ground. Whereas if you don't have anyone to your right, it's sort of hard to anchor yourself. And that's partly where the whole Cthulhu swims left thing, I think, also comes from.
Yeah.
But
I think Cthulhu's going to stop swimming left for a bit now.
Hopefully.
The Prime Minister.
Did you see the funniest part of this?
What? Go
on. That Elon Musk spoke for so long that Carl Benjamin didn't get to do his speech.
Do it, yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Do you want to hear the funniest part of that as well?
Carl got blue balled.
partially that, but also speakers for Tommy Robinson typically pay a speaker's fee. They pay Tommy Robinson to speak at his events, so Carl probably paid for that, and hopefully got it refunded, to be fair to him, but it's kind of an open secret, that. But
isn't aren't there people trying to see if they can get Elon like extradited or something? Just some absolutely delusional takes.
Well, we'll get into it. The Prime Minister's official spokesman said that Musk's words threatened violence and intimidation on our streets, adding, "I don't think the British public will have any truck with that kind of language." Because he said, he basically said, you have to fight back or you'll die, and it's like, you know, that's if you're phrasing it that way, it doesn't sound like do it by peaceful political means. You know, that sounds, especially in the week Charlie Kirk got shot. that sounds a bit more direct.
Well, I think that maybe that's partly why he chose the language he did, because
yes, but my point is, it's really stupid.
To the American,
it's very American as well.
I was going to say, to the American perspective, yes, if you don't fight back, you will literally be shot, and that was actually something that.
Yeah, I think
that's a reality where he is in theory.
Yeah. I think.
I was just going to say, even before that, the left and right wing people in America do tend to say that, oh yeah, we're going to fight them, we're going to go to Washington, fight them. Like Cenk Uygur says it all the time on the Young Turks as well, and loads like Trump's was saying it for years, and like everyone says, I'm going to fight your corner, I'm going to be on yours, and like we don't really talk like that.
Well, the great Maggie Thatcher made the point that someone on a like. Was any questions or something like that, but someone from the audience asked her, you know, why do you speak like a military tactician? Why do you say words like fight and things like that? And she basically said back, well, politics is basically kind of like a war, and you know, you've got a hierarchy as well. Yeah, so you're going to use warlike language for this. So I understand it, but also in the week Charlie Kirk got shot, and when you say if you don't fight back you'll die, it sounds to be a bit more direct than maybe Elon Musk meant. I'll put it that way. But it's Elon Musk. He has blunders like this all the time. He's not very good with his words, or Elon. Cabinet ministers described Musk's intervention as totally inappropriate, and Sir Ed Davey, the Lib Dem leader, said British democracy was too precious to be a plaything for foreign tech barons. Davey also has written to the Prime Minister, the Conservative leader Kemi Badenoch, and the Reform leader Nigel Farage over the weekend, urging them to join him in condemning the dangerous remarks, which I think Nigel Farage just said, you know, let him clarify. So Farage said the context in which the words have been used left a degree of ambiguity, and he said if the fight that Musk was talking about was about standing up for our rights and free speech, if it was about fighting in elections to overcome the established parties, then that is absolutely the fight that we're in. Which, it's a fine remark. As I say, it's Musk not being careful with his language, as he never is. So, what do you expect? But yeah, a lot of MPs, this racist people actually went, this is just like really normal people that want immigration sorted. That's pretty much it. Anyone see any of the speeches? Because I saw Ben Habib call Keir Starmer a wanker. That was quite funny. Idiotic, but quite funny.
I saw your video on it, but I think the only one I actually watched live was actually the Spanish one. Even though I don't know enough Spanish to actually translate it, but it was
She'll have paid to make that speech, by the way. Just saying.
We were laughing about it here because we were like, if they try and they try and arrest the foreign speakers, then are they going to risk an international incident if the foreign speakers get a bit too spicy? And we were sort of like laughing and sort of placing our bets on what they were going to try and do. But
it was also, the other thing I found really funny was that it was really obvious Tommy Robinson told everyone don't bash Nigel or Reform, because a lot of these people will still be voting Reform, even though the whole event was sponsored by Advance UK, which, by the way, as well, is pretty much the only reason Tommy Robinson joined Advance UK. You got to be cynical about him. At this point, he basically just does stuff for money. I'm afraid to tell you that.
You mean he's an entrepreneurial young businessman?
He's very good at what he does. I'll say that.
He's not that young, to be fair.
Anyway. Everything you need to know about Trump's state visit. Let's have a palate cleanser. Oh, the great passing of the letter. Starman knew what he was doing. So Tuesday evening, that's tonight, Trump arrives at Stansted. Wednesday to Thursday, the King and Queen host him at Windsor. Thursday, Trump holds a bilateral meeting with Sir Keir Starmer at the Chequers. I didn't realise that's where Chequers was. I thought it was close to London for some reason. Oh well. So obviously he comes in on Air Force One. You have Marine One as well, which is the President's heli chopper. For some reason it's telling us that they have run flats in the limo along with... I can't tell what type of shotgun that is, but to be honest, it's probably the wrong one, knowing the times. And also, there's an oxygen supply mask as well, because God knows what they're going to do to that car. And the car runs on diesel. Who would have thunk? It's a Cadillac. Well done. Top speed 60 miles an hour. How do you make a getaway in that?
Is that the beast? Yeah. Well,
it's very
it weighs a ton, isn't it?
Yeah, I was going to say
the windows are 5 inches.
It's basically
thick.
It is literally a very. It's just a very fancy tank.
Yeah,
that's effectively what it is. Just it doesn't have tracks and it doesn't have a cannon.
God,
at least that we know of.
They've even got the procession route. Incredible. The procession will not, as it did for the President Macron of France in July, pass through the crowds in the town where they're expected to be protesters. We need to be more open about liking Trump, man. Tommy hates Farage. Yes, I know he did, but he still told people don't bash Farage.
Also, sorry, the other thing, have you noticed, has there been much of a, because you keep track of the normies more than I do, has there been more of a shift on, like, Trump? Is he still Orange Man bad?
I have no idea.
Yeah.
My mum a few years ago had a go at me because I told her that paradise means walled garden, and Trump's obviously building a wall, so it's not actually anti-Christian. I think if I said that, nah. I think these days she's much more on the side. Garden of Eden's paradise.
Yeah. Walled garden, yeah.
When I think these days, my mother anyway, is very, very much more. I literally heard her explain to my sister why people like Trump. Like, she understands him a lot more than she did a few years ago. So I think, wokeness is definitely dying, but we're still going to have clown decade things happening for the next 3 years. It just won't be trans stuff.
Yeah. But it's undoing.
President will inspect the Guard of Honor. Nice. Trump will have lunch in the state dining room with members of the royal family before being invited to view a special display of items related to the US in the Green Drawing Room. I hope they have McDonald's. Imagine being the Deliveroo driver. He didn't tell anyone don't bash Farage. Yes, he did. He made a tweet saying there won't be any Farage bashing at this event. And given all Ben Habib does is bash Farage, and he didn't bash Farage, he obviously told people not to bash Farage. What are you talking about, JR? Honestly, people are so stupid. In the afternoon, the President and First Lady will visit St George's Chapel to privately lay a wreath to the tomb of Queen Elizabeth. That is quite nice, because he did like Queen Elizabeth.
Have any of you guys been round Windsor Castle?
I have not.
No.
It's a pretty good day out.
I feel like I should have been. No, wait. Windsor Castle. I might have been, but I think I might. I don't think I've been to the royal one. I think I've been to the one where they have like the medieval fairs.
I don't know Windsor that well. I've just been to the royal one.
I have some family in that area, so I've been to a castle in Windsor, but it might not be the. Actually, it might be this one, but again, it's not where the royals live. It's the it's basically the tourist attraction castle. So I don't know if they're the same one. But the one I visited was really fun.
I think they're in resident there for a bit of the year at least.
Oh, okay.
I think there's an old castle as well, or is this the newer one?
I will look it up. Not on a stream. I'll take a look.
I've definitely been around that one that they're showing pictures of though.
Okay.
Oh my god! Look at the size. 50-meter long table. Wish I was king. the king and president sit together in the centre.
You're not classy enough.
It just Simpsons reference. It just reminds me of Burns' Air when it's Bart and they're at a table like this, obviously not as long, and I think Mr. Burns is. Oh no, I might have got the episode wrong. No, I'm thinking of the episode where the Simpsons look after Mr. Burns' manor, and
oh yes,
they're sat at, like, each side of the table, and Homer's like, "Listen how loud I have to yell," and they have the table set out perfectly with all the 13 forks or something, and Marge is like, "What does? I know what the other 12 do, but I don't know what this one does." "Why, Marge, I believe you're supposed to scratch your ass with it." "Oh, I don't know about that," and then she loves it. Yeah.
Oh no.
Yeah.
As a hobbyist, I've done a little bit of hobbyist woodworking, and I'm just thinking how much. I know how much wood costs if you want to try and make stuff with it. And I can't even imagine how expensive that table would be if you wanted to.
Well, that'd be premium mahogany or something as well. So,
but I'm also just thinking, like, did they make it all as one piece, or is it like detachable? You know,
it must be detachable, otherwise you wouldn't be able to get it.
Get it in, yeah.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, was it assembled in the room? Is it able to be taken apart? I don't know. Like, I literally don't know.
Quite hard to tell there.
Yeah, it's not made from a 50-meter tall tree, is it?
You don't know.
I mean, well, no. You
Californian redwood.
Well, not just that, but you also you would be able to glue parts together, like, you know. But no, I mean, you'd be surprised because they could afford it. But the thing is, that's going to cost you. If you wanted like a single slab, that's going to cost you like $100,000. I'm pretty sure. I don't even think that would be even stretching it. I think actually at least $100,000 just for the wood, probably.
I bet it's just 10 tables with one cloth on top of
it. What, like the picnic tables from like the plastic fold-out ones?
Well, maybe not like picnic tables, but just like it would just be lots of tables stuck together with a big cloth on top of it, right?
But could you imagine, like, they had to cut the cost somewhere, so they spent like on the tablecloth, and underneath it is just like plastic picnic tables just lined up next to each other.
Right? If it works, it works.
I mean, to be fair, yeah.
There you go. Thursday morning, President and First Lady will formally bid farewell to the King and Queen before splitting up for the morning. Trump will meet Starmer and his wife at the Checkers. God, what's
I'm looking forward to this one. I am looking forward to it.
What are they even going to talk about?
So I hear that you're gonna so you're censoring Truth Social, and I was talking to Minion Vance. Minion Vance tells me you're basically North Korea, and I'll tell you.
But they like each other. They're best friends.
Yeah, we're the bestest of friends. So you better unban Truth Social.
Wait. Why did you call Tommy Robinson a plastic patriot?
Plastic patriot. I thought you gave me a letter and tell me you're working on the deportations. What is this? 1 in, 1 out nonsense. You know.
You couldn't even get 1 out.
Yeah, you couldn't get 1. It's more. The more I think about it, the more tragic it is.
Don't think about it too hard.
This entire country's tragic.
Yeah. Oh God, hang on, dude. The pair will then join a business reception hosted by Reeves, the Chancellor, before a joint press conference at the Checkers. Good God, Thursday's going to be.
Why do you keep calling it the Checkers?
Is it not the Checkers?
No, it's
just Checkers. It's the name of the house.
All right, because I'm an idiot. In the meantime, the First Lady will stay at Windsor with the Queen. The pair will view Queen Mary's dollhouse, the largest in the world, complete with running water, electricity, and a visit to the Royal Library. Excuse me?
Nice. I've got running water as well.
Wow, that's an immaculate...
In a doll's house?
That's an immaculate doll's house.
Actually, that is impressive, yeah.
Melina will join the Princess of Wales at Frogmore Gardens to meet Chief Scouts Dwayne Fields. What?
I just realised... If you want to, you know, like how we have a really terrible definition of poverty?
Yes.
The redefinition should be, does your house have the same facilities as this doll's house?
I think everyone has electricity and running water, to be fair.
Not everyone.
Name one person who doesn't.
I don't know them by name.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I thought. But But that's probably a better
Kaczynski.
definition. Oh no, he's not. Well, no, he does. He's in prison.
No, he did die. No, he died.
Oh, he died. Yeah.
Last year, was it? Yeah.
Yeah, I remember now. Yeah. Anyway, Scout Squirrel program. The Melina and Princess of Wales will meet them. The Princess will has been joint president of the Scout Association since 2020 and previously appeared in a video with Fields describing the intense emotional reconnection she found in nature. Cool. First Lady will rejoin Trumpet Checkers. See, I didn't say that time. Before they leave, the Starmers and Lord Chamberlain, the most senior officer of the royal household, bids them farewell on behalf of the king as they depart the United Kingdom. Neat.
Why is she wearing a lampshade?
She always wears lampshades.
Why is she wearing a lampshade? Sorry.
You're beautiful today, Melina.
Yeah.
Melania.
I don't care. I don't speak Russian.
Russian. Oh my.
She's Slovenian.
She's Ukrainian.
No, she's not.
She's Slovenian.
Is she Slovenian?
She's from
Wait,
Moldova.
Yeah.
No, she's
She's
not.
from Slovenia.
I thought she.
No, she's just Eastern European. I just picked an Eastern European country. Then again, Russia wouldn't have made sense, would it? Because she doesn't like Russia. Which puts her in. Which puts her in a
Russians don't
possibility.
like Russia.
Well, true. Which puts her in about 20 different countries.
Oh, she is Slovenian. My bad. Is it her ex? Is it his ex that's Ukrainian?
He likes the Eastern Europeans. He's a proud Scotsman.
I don't blame him.
Well, Ivanka was Russian, I thought.
Oh, I'm just embarrassing myself now. Yeah, ignore me.
All right.
See, I don't even know where she's from. I just saw her topless on a magazine and thought, gotta get myself some of that. I don't know.
Cool.
Probably not far off.
Right. Anyway.
What's going on?
I don't know, but I'm ending the stream there.
Oh no.
So, yes, I'd like to thank the panel for being entertaining tonight as usual. Thank you, Cero, Enigmatic, Muzzkie and Tory Boy.
You're welcome.
You're welcome.
You're welcome.
I will obviously have videos out as and when I can make them, which should be every day this week as usual. Next week there will be none because I'm away. Saturday though, there will be Laughing at the Guardian. We've got Cero, hopefully Zen, and of course hopefully William the Bonkerer. So I'm not expecting to get through any articles.
Would you like
I've had to unfollow William.
Why?
I found him just too much. When I was a teenager, I was very nihilistic, and I didn't think that jokes could be taken the wrong way. And I just think this week I've just been like, he's just too much for me.
You're taking his jokes the wrong way.
He's just not funny.
Do you not think so?
No, he's just gone too far this time.
Wow. Well, there you go. You heard it here first. Well, he's coming on the show anyway. So, you'll enjoy him for the World War I banter. Anyway, I think that's it for housekeeping. Obviously, subscribe to this channel and my channel, send super chats, etc. Yeah, I guess I will see you again live Saturday. Because there's no gaming stream yet because Jeg's not about, unfortunately. So that was it for Hollow Knight. I will be returning in October with Enigmatic as we go through Life is Strange.